Today I'd like to go over weather radios, and I'd like to do a comparison between this Accurite system and this Midland WR400, the Deluxe NOAA Emergency Weather Alert Radio. We have been using this for a really long time. I had this, a different version of this, pretty much the same one, a long time ago. And we even got one for my parents, and I was a huge fan of it. About a year ago, we started noticing the alerts not coming through. And it wasn't that they weren't coming to the unit, because the unit would have a light change, but the speaker just wasn't working. And I thought maybe it was just getting old. We didn't really move it that much, so I didn't think it was wear and tear. And it got to the point where it wasn't working at all. And I took it apart, and I realized that the speaker wires had just come loose, and it just seemed odd. And so I went through, resoldered them, put it back together, and it still kind of worked, but it had issues with reception. So I took the antenna part apart, everything looked fine. And what we would do is, when an alert would come out, you have to press and hold down the casing to get the speaker to work. And it was just very strange. And I just happened to be at my parents' one day, and just mentioned it, and they said they had the exact same issue. And so I took theirs, same thing, took it apart, and their speaker was connected, but I undid it, resoldered it, and it worked a little better. But they were having a similar issue, and it was very strange because, I mean, this unit was bomb-proof for years and years, a long time. That's why I bought it, and it just quit working. And I started looking around. I think when I got this, it was like $30, $40. And I started looking around and found this one. This is from Midland. This one is from Accurite. This is a really good weather alert radio. I set it up a few days ago, and in comparison to this, it's like going from the 90s to current technology. It's crazy. It's so easy to put in with NOAA, there's a thing called SAME, and it's an acronym, and it's basically your location, and then it's similar to like a PL tone or something, where it's only going to open the speaker basically when an alert for your specific area goes out. And this was so easy. You just went in, and it was words. It wasn't, you have to go online and look for a code or anything. I just went through and did USA, Texas, Dallas, and that was it. And the speaker is really good. Let me turn it up.
Cloudy, 82, south at 20, gusting to 31. Greenville, partly sunny, 88, south at 18, gusting to...
And you can tell, I mean, we're in the country, and the antenna's not even all the way up, and it's very clear. The audio is really good. And when you go through, what's nice is you can check, what I like is you can check your alerts, and you can go down on the menu, and you can do an alert test, and then you can press it. And that lets you set this up, because on the back, a convenient feature is as an external alert, and Midland sells a little red light they can plug into this. And then they also have a spot in here for headphones, but you can plug in a speaker. And then what we've done with one of our other radios is we've actually hooked it up to that radio and then ran it into the garage, so it's outside, with a little splitter, so you can have audio inside and outside. That way, if you're outside doing stuff. And this unit has an AM/FM radio, obviously has weather radio. Again, the clarity on the audio is incredible. It has 4 AA batteries that will go if the power goes out, and so far they've worked really well. I've had it on the battery for probably a day at this point, just to see how it does. This also gives you a chance and a connection to plug in an external antenna. That way, if you are deep in a building, or you are underground with a basement or something, or you just don't have very good reception, they sell antennas that you can put on your house, and you can run this up and out, or put it on some kind of structure above ground. And that way, from this unit, you can have regular power, a visual alert, and an antenna that goes out. And then the other thing I like too is there's a 5 volt 1 amp USB port, and that will allow you to just charge your stuff, and that way it gives you kind of one spot to, you know, plug in your phone, listen to the weather. It's very convenient. It has 4 presets for the AM FM radio. It will not change like in your car. You can't program 1 for AM, 2 for some FM channel, and then so on. These 4 are for kind of band independent, so 4 for AM, 4 for FM. You have a light button to change the brightness on here, and then these little sections, there's a warning, a watch, and an advisory, and they'll light up depending on what's going on. And it's got a clock on it, and that's pretty much it. But it feels like other Midland stuff. It feels really rugged. It has a 2 points here to mount it on a wall, and then there's a channel that goes through here that you can run the power cord through. And then again, like old school radios, it does have a telescoping antenna, and that way it can't help. But I've had it all the way down, and it works perfect. I really like this radio. Again, this is the Midland WR400, and it's $70, which is, it sounds like a lot, and it is for a radio. But what I've noticed from Midland over the last few years is their build quality is really strong, and this is no exception. This feels really solid. Everything feels like it's put really well together. The buttons are very firm. They have a good little rubberized texture to them. And everything is labeled really well, and it's very simple. They don't try and overcomplicate it with stuff or try and cram a bunch in the screen. I mean, all you have on your screen is you have the time, an AM or PM, your battery indicator, what your NOAA signal strength is, and then the bottom section down here is where you can go through and use your menu and select cities and alert types and set alarms and do all those kinds of things. And I just think this is a great product. They did really well with this. And if you're looking for a weather radio, and lately it seems like every part of the country almost has had severe weather of some kind, tornadoes, flooding, getting into wildfires. Well, wildfire season seems like it's year-round now, but getting into the summer in the west, it'd be really good to know, and they can send out alerts and let you know if a fire's spun up and that something's going on that needs to draw your attention to it. These are just really good radios to have. Everyone should have a weather radio. Your phone is great, and your phone can do stuff. We have the Weather Channel stuff too, and the alerts that will come on when there's lightning or a storm coming by. But if the storm is really bad, or there's a situation where cell phones aren't working, or the power grid is down, the public emergency address system is extremely robust. That was something that was really well done by the government a long time ago. And it is designed to work when everything else fails. It is designed so that information from people making decisions can get to people that are relying on those decisions. And if you're stuck somewhere and it's flooding, or a hurricane has come through, almost always the NOAA weather radio will work. And when you're in a vacuum of information and phones don't work, power does not work, internet doesn't work, there's no one around you, you're on your own, being able to turn on and hear that mechanical voice and hear that voice say what's going on can be very comforting, and it can calm your nerves a lot, knowing that yes, things are horrible right here, but outside of this area, region, or bubble, things and people and agencies are coming together to come in and help. And this is just one step toward that emergency plan that I've discussed several times. And if you're looking for weather radio, this is a fantastic option. This is not portable like this, but it does have batteries, and the batteries, at least at this point, have lasted for a day running this by itself. And it gives you peace of mind, and it gives you something to listen to what's going on. Before an emergency happens, make sure that you go through and you kind of find the 1080s of your area. In Dallas, there's a station on AM called 1080, and they are really good at getting breaking news out on traffic and weather and all that kind of stuff. And that's just one of those that are in here. And it will be easier for you in an emergency just to press button 1, 2, 3, 4, because if one's not working, hopefully, most likely, one of the others will be working, and then you can kind of get a more local human that you can listen to. Thank you for watching, and if you're looking for a weather radio, this Midland is a great option.